Everyone, it's Pam here with Tattered Paper and Lace. Welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been a long time since I've done a video. Adjust my lights a little bit. There we go. That's better. Because I usually film ahead. I still am filming a little bit ahead. And we were gone for 10 days on our trip to the Northeast. And so now I'm back. Been working on my Margarete Millers. And we're on week 44. So guess what? This must be a Monday. I'm not filming on Monday, but you're watching this on a Monday. And so we have our prompts over here. Let's go over what we need. And go from there. So first we need a diagram or a chart. Something that squeaks or honks. A section of magazine advertisement. Cake. Something inspired by a fairy tale, and patterned paper. Well, I kind of, sort of, have all of that. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So, diagram or a chart. I have this diagram that I'm going to use the bottom portion of. That came from a vintage electrician's handbook. Let me show you. This book, take it out, of practical electricity, and its first copyright was in the 1930s and its last copyright was in the 1950s, and it is a thick book with all kinds of diagrams and things in it that have to do with electricity. So I chose this page because this looks like a brick wall. And it looks like that this is a diagram of installing molding to hide the electrical wires. So I'm going to use the bottom portion of this. Then we have something that squeaks or honks. Well, I'm not sure I have anything, but I'll show you something in a moment that might work. A section of a magazine advertisement. I have this, which is a little bit cheating because it's not really from a magazine, but it is a copy of a magazine advertisement, and it was on wallpaper, so I'm using that. Then cake. Well, I have this cat cake. Could be a cookie. I'm calling it a cake. It's got icing. It's got some depth, you can tell. So I'm going to say that it's a cake. I don't know if it is or not. Also, it's a cat. And I had a cat, a little tiny cat, that it would squeak. Its meow was more like a squeak. So I'm going to say this could squeak too. So we'll call it that. Then something inspired by a fairy tale. I'm going to use this guy. He could be Merlin. He could be a professor at Hogwarts. He could be a wizard, a warlock, or a whatever. And I'm saying he's inspired by a fairy tale. And that came out of one of my cut and collage books. So did the cat. And the next thing is patterned paper. And I'm going to use these stars. So let us get started on this little project. Okay, so obviously this is going to be my background. But the thing is I don't need to use it all. And I don't want to use more than I have to, because this is the last little bit of this particular pattern paper. I don't have any more of this star pattern paper. So let me just show you kind of what my layout is going to be here. And so we're using this part as a brick wall. The warlock, wizard, whatever he is going to go like that. The cat is going to be looking over the brick wall. And then my little advertisement is just going to go right here. I do want you to be able to see study journalism by mail, just because this is the advertisement. And so I am going to have it something like all of this. The layout is going to be something like this. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move these up. So really I only need from right here to right there to be my background. The rest of it is going to be this other stuff is background. That's going to move over a little bit, up a little bit. He's got to move over and down. Yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. This is going to go. Holding all this together is fun. And you can see my little template here for my 4-inch circle, because I'm using coasters as my collage. Okay, so the main thing here is to get this star paper marked from right here around to right there, and then do a straight line. So I need a ruler for that. And let me get that. So I'm going to do a straight line from, that's just the easiest way to do it, save as much paper as possible. So I'm going to do a straight line from there to there. Okay. And then I'll just put that on there. So I'm going to cut this first. Hopefully I left myself enough room. And that way I can save a piece. And then I am going to, let me look at my light here so I can see how this goes, and I'm going to mark it on the back. I hope I'm in frame here. Okay, and then I can now, so I had marked it on the front, as you can see, maybe that you can see the little line there. And so I just held it up to the light so I could see that I had it in the same place. So we're going to do it just like that. So I'm going to do it on here. Get me some glue on here. Believe it or not, I hadn't used my glue in a while because I've been gone, and it worked just fine. I don't know what the difference is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, as you all know. So I am putting that down, and I'm going to put this, I hope I get this right, like this. Do I have it right? I'm not sure I do. I think it needs to be more like this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Because this is going to go over here. The main thing is he's going to go here somewhere. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that's going to be close enough. I hope it will be anyway. If not, I will have to make adjustments. That's the problem. That's my problem sometimes, is getting it where I want it to be. If I had more of this paper, I would have just put the whole circle down. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I don't have any more, and I want to have it in case I need it. Those are too little to keep. Okay. I'll go around all of it later with my sandpaper. I do need to so I know this is what, the first part of November? I don't even know. I think it's the first week in November that you're seeing this. I am doing this early. I'm actually in the last week of October doing this. And so I want him to be, yep, I'm going to have just the right amount of room. That to be about like that. This guy, he's going to go right under here, like that, to bring that down just a little bit more so he can come down. Just want him to kind of peeking over. That's good. Yep, that works. I am going to glue this guy to this with a little glue. Did I get him quite right? I hope I did. I don't think I did. Might be too late. No, I think I can. Oh, might be too late. Yeah, move him like that. I think that's kind of straight. So we got him. We got him okay. He's okay. All right, so let's get the cat back there. Back here, and then we can put this under here like we're supposed to. Oh no, I did it over too far. Can't do that. Okay, do that right to the edge. I'm gonna do it just like that. So now I'll glue that to that. And that to that. And that should have those in the right order, in the right place, I hope. And then I can this needs to be out just a little bit further, but I don't think I can do it. So I'll move him over. Just the tiniest little bit. I think I can. This bottom piece you won't see, so I can move it over a tiny little bit. I wanted this to be right on the edge. There we go. Just like that. There we go. That might work. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to glue this along the edge here. Well, I didn't have to go that far with it. But I'm leaving this open so I can put the cat in. That's good enough. I'm gonna get this. Oh, I can do this with this because this is thin paper. So I think I can do this with this. Just like that. Okay. Save that for another time. Now I can do it. So now, let me get the cat in there because he's going to go behind here. Yeah, let's get him in there. I don't see any reason to keep his body, even though his head's going to be the only thing showing. I don't see any reason I need to keep his body for anything. So we're going to stick him in there, right down here, as far as I can get him. Get me some tissue here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then we can put this right here. Just like that. Yes. Now I know Let me bring it down just a little bit so you can see. I know that he kind of fades into the background, but I wanted him to be mysterious and kind of fade into the background. So that's on purpose. I tried it with having more of the brick wall so that he would show up more, but I didn't like that. I liked him fading into the background, kind of. So we're gonna leave it like that. I was also gonna put this advertisement straight, but you couldn't see as much of the ad as I thought would be nice. So I changed it. Okay. Is that the way we want it? I think it is. We're going for it. We are going for it. So that is, so I should have been telling you something about my trip. We had a very good time. The leaves were not as pretty as I had hoped, but that is always a gamble. It doesn't matter where you go. It is always a gamble. We went into Boston, saw a show at the Berkeley Performing Arts Center. We could not see JFK's library, or I didn't get quite over as far, but that's okay. We did not get to see JFK's library or the USS Constitution, which is two of the things we wanted to do in Boston besides the show. We did not get to do that because they were shut down because of the government shutdown. So, next time, another reason to go to Boston. Which that's the second time we've not been able to see the USS Constitution. Okay, this is nice. So we went to Boston, we went to Providence, Rhode Island, Newport, went over to Newport and saw some mansions, went to Hartford, Connecticut, saw the Mark Twain house and did some other things there. Then went to Vermont, to Stowe, stayed at a skiing resort there, and went to Salem. Oh, when we were in Boston, we went to Salem. When we couldn't see those two things in Boston, we decided we'd drive over to Salem. So we went there, perfect time to go in October to Salem. So that was kind of fun. So we had a really good time. And now we're back. And now I am through with week 44. Let's go over the prompts, see what we got. So a diagram or a chart is this electrical diagram in the background here that looks like a brick wall. Something that squeaks or honks. I'm going to say the cat because I had a cat that his meow was more of a squeak than it was a meow. So I'm going to say that is the squeak. A section of a magazine advertisement. That's this, which this also has a fairy right there. So it also is inspired by a fairy tale. So then we have, that's the advertisement. We have the cat is also the cake. Inspired by a fairy tale is this wizard. And the pattern paper is the stars in the background. And that is my collage for week 44 of the Margarete Miller Challenge. I again will say that I wanted him to fade into the background because I wanted him to look more mysterious. So I'm going to sand down this edge a little bit, and then we're going to ink around it, and I shall be done. And I think my dinner is ready. My husband is the cook in the family for the most part, and he was making something tonight, so... Okay, that's it. That is week 44. I appreciate you coming along, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.